let me get the agenda up here. Or I'll just read it here. Good evening. Welcome to the first meeting of the new year for the Griffin City Commission. If you will rise, we'll have our invocation by Doug Holberg, and we'll have our pledge to the flag. I will lead the pledge to the flag. Thank you.
Please join us in prayer. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first order of business tonight is to elect a new chairperson for our this coming calendar year. But before I relinquish this microphone, I want to tell all of you what a joy it has been to serve the City of Griffin and this Board of Commissioners, representing you all for all of the work that we have done this year. It's been a tough year, but Kenny has kept the ship righted. He has worked hard, and he has helped us in every area that we had to do with the constituents. You know, sometimes it's bittersweet, but it's nice to pass the gavel on to another person that will have the opportunity to represent this board and to represent our city. And it's a great thing to be an elected official in the city of Griffin. So often people just do not understand that politicians are a good thing. They're not a bad thing. And parties are a good thing, and they're not a bad thing, because we don't all think alike. My hope for our community would be that we would turn it around into a positive community like we were 42 years ago when I moved here. In this next year, I'm going to be very active. I will serve in any capacity that I need to serve the constituents and to serve our city. But mainly I'm going to complete my book that I have started writing, that in 42 years, the 25 most interesting people you want to meet in Griffin, Georgia. And it's a funny book. It's a good book. It has lots of anecdotes. 20-something years ago, Bonnie Frogner and I stood before this board because we disagreed with an ordinance that was going to come before us. It happened to be Skeeter Norsworthy and Teague Jones, and they were going to vote on an ordinance that you couldn't drink and dance in the same establishment in the city of Griffin. Now, you think about that. We have really come a long way. And so we wrote a little ditty, and we came before them in costume and sang. And they didn't pass the ordinance. And so that was a good thing. So, you know, times change, people change. I think that I would like to thank this board for the good way that we have worked together, for the work that we have accomplished. And having said that, I'm around people. I have 2 more years to serve, and if I'm needed, I will be here, I can assure you. With that, closing that, we need to elect a chairperson for 2014. Nominations, please.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to nominate Ryan McLemore as chairman.
All right, Ryan McLemore has been nominated. Do we have any other nominations? Then I declare the nominations closed. And do we want to vote on this, or do we want to just say, welcome Ryan to the podium? We welcome you, Ryan. Please, give us a minute to change seats.
I think we need to.
Is there need to be?
Madam Chair, may I make this official for our attorney over there? I
Yes.
move that nominations be closed and Ryan
Second.
be elected by acclamation.
Second the motion.
I recommend that as well. Is that agreeable with everyone?
All in favor?
Say aye. Raise your hand. Very good. Thank you. I don't know if you have my name here or not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
Miss
do.
Judy.
I don't want the name.
Right. And I have to say, I am so glad to have your corner chair.
See everybody?
Yes.
Okay, well, Those were good remarks by Ms. Todd, Commissioner Todd. I would like to thank the board for the opportunity to have this honor to serve and represent. As chair, it's been a very good 4 years for me. It's a new experience for me, and I truly believe that we've worked well as a board and that we've got a lot of momentum going. And I look forward for an exciting and productive year going forward. And I know we have a long agenda tonight, so we'll just get right on into it and try to knock this thing out. Do we need to first amend the agenda to include the 2 items, or is the next
If you
required
would, sir,
thing?
Madam, or Mr. Chairman,
You
say
need
Madam
to
Chair.
elect the
Mr.
vice
Chair.
chairman.
We got to do the vote. Doug Holberg as vice chair.
Okay.
All right. And I move that we delete item number 43 as posted, and we add item number 46, appoint 1 commission member to serve on the Spalding Collaborative, and an additional item number 47 to appoint 1 commission member to serve chairperson or designee on the Three Rivers Regional Commission.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous? Okay, now I have the pleasure of recognizing our outgoing chairperson. Do I have a motion to accept this proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will be happy to read this for you. We have a nice little frame here. I guess this is a substitute for the typical plaque.
Yes, you know, you can only put so many plaques on the wall.
Okay. By the City of Griffin of the State of Georgia, a proclamation in recognition of Chairperson Joanne Todd dated January 14, 2014. Whereas City Commission Chairperson Joanne Todd has been resident of Griffin for 42 years, having moved here from South Carolina with her husband Harry. Mr. and Ms. Todd have been married for 58 years and together have 3 grown children, 7 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. And whereas Ms. Todd co-founded the Griffin Newcomers Club in 1972 as one of 5 members. By the end of the club in 1992, the total membership had reached 200. And whereas Mr. and Ms. Todd became active members of First Baptist Church of Griffin and served in many capacities at the church. Among the organizations in which Ms. Todd served were the Women's Missionary Union as president, the adult choir, the Magnus Sunday School class, and the first chairman of the First Baptist Church Mission Council, a council formed to assist and meet the local educational needs of underprivileged children and adults. And whereas as chairman of the Church Mission Council, Ms. Todd directed the establishment of the first 4-year kindergarten program for the Griffin Spalding County School System at Ann Streets Elementary School, and subsequently established English as a second language to serve the parents of the students in the Griffin Spalding County School System in partnership with Griffin Technical College. And whereas Ms. Todd served as regional staff executive for the American Cancer Society, representing 6 counties for education, service, and support groups for almost 4 years. And whereas Ms. Todd served her community as a team mother for Babe Ruth Baseball and we as leader for the Kiwanis Club's Boy Scout program at Griffin Area Resource Center. She serves campaign manager for Congressman Newt Gingrich prior to redistricting, while concurrently serving on the Family Selection Committee of Habitat for Humanity. Ms. Todd also assisted and served as the first secretary of Stepping Stone. She served as director of Spalding County Citizens for Children, a private organization that provided education for abused children and instituted the First Steps program for teenage mothers. And whereas Ms. Todd enjoyed recreational bowling and was instrumental in forming a morning bowling league for women. During this time, Ms. Todd was elected as publicity chairman of the Georgia Women's Bowling Association, earning 4 national writing awards. Having majored in journalism during college, this achievement satisfied her desire for sports writing. And whereas Ms. Todd served the local community's adult education programs by teaching contract and duplicate for bridge for 40 years, she has also taught bridge at Gordon College and the Senior Center in Spalding, Upson, and Butts counties. And whereas Ms. Todd was elected to the Griffin City Board of Commissioners in 1999 and has served on the Downtown Development Authority, Airport Authority, Three Rivers Board, Industrial Development Authority, Hospital Authority, Workforce Investment Board, GMA Board of Directors, GMA Training Board, GMA Legislative Policy Council, and as the president of the 4th District Council of GMA. And whereas Ms. Todd has served 4 terms as chairman of the Griffin City Board of Commissioners and is now completing her 4th total term. Boy, this is year 15 years old now, right?
Right.
Okay. Whereas, therefore, we, the Board of Commissioners of City of Griffin, day of January 2014. Signed, Ryan McLemore and Ken Smith.
Thank you. Thank you.
You also close to earn an official mayor birthday.
Oh, I am just honored.
And this is our new city logo colors.
Oh, neat. Well, thank you, dear. Thank you. That is neat. Yes. Harry will be pleased.
Way to one up the proclamation.
Ryan, I'm sorry you had to read that long proclamation, but thank you.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have review financials for November 2013. Mr. Schwab.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, first item up is the cash balance report. One of the items, I guess, of note would be the cemetery trust fund. There's an increase in the amount of investments, and that's a result of steady and slow restructuring within that portfolio. We've trimmed out some of the losses. We're taking some of the gains. There's roughly $239,000 worth of gains that we've taken in interest and earnings in the cemetery trust fund portfolio for the year. Any questions on cash?
Well, let me use that to segue into a couple I have real quick.
Yes.
Just to make sure everything's okay. If you look at the negative operating balances in the water, wastewater fund, and the solid waste fund, solid waste is actually ahead of projected revenues. Water, wastewater is slightly behind, but I trust those are not serious issues.
Correct. Those are timing issues. We have those periodically throughout the year where we transfer cash and we make payments. These are book entries. The cash transactions hit the next day after we make those book entries for the end of the month. So those have been since cleaned up.
So they're periodicity things.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
Splost.
Lost and splost, not to be lost, but
Right.
we seem to be clicking away okay on that. We just have 1 month where we did not receive a lost distribution. That was for there's typically a catch-up that comes in, and we did not receive that this time around so far. It may true up in a month or so, and that's a small dividend distribution that comes in twice a year, in addition to the lost. And obviously, our SPLOST numbers are still held back by the fact that we have to satisfy the bonds. The last communication that I believe we saw was from Ms. Garrison over at the county, instructing the Bank of New York to go ahead and now begin posting those starting with December. So we'll see those numbers take off again. Next item up would be the revenue detail report. Any questions on revenues specifically?
Are you going to ask about, Mr. Goldberg, you going to ask about, okay. I just noticed that collections for ticketing and fines is way, 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 way down. So
Yes, sir.
are we just not doing that now, or what?
There are a few activities in play. One is the red light camera has been down for a while, and that's been rerouted, so we're not going to be able to make that revenue up. And as far as the ticketing and the officers out on foot patrol and on, doing their enforcement and such, I'll have to let Chief Strickland discuss that aspect.
Well, it's certainly low. It's around the 20% range, and it should be around 40%. So I
Correct.
was curious
If the
what was
number
going
of
on.
citations that are traditionally issued for safety reasons has decreased, and then on top of that, add in the fact that most of the violators end up on probation and they cannot pay, and then they end up in jail. So there's two issues going on there, the numbers for the statistics side and the actual collections coming in. So there's compound effect there.
You said the red light camera will be relocated?
Yes. It's going to be turned the other way to go northbound.
Oh, okay.
Right, Chief, is that correct? Yes.
Good.
Okay, but we're not losing that camera completely there. read that letter, I was confused whether we were actually losing the whole thing or not.
Any other questions on the funds as a whole for the interim statements?
No, I think it's pretty apparent when we were looking at the SPOS and the loss, you could see that decrease month over month. And I know one of the first places we go to look now is the motor vehicle tax to see if it's kind of offsetting. It looks like for the time being it is offsetting, that we're probably okay in our general fund when it comes to those two things as a combined
Right.
whole. We'll see if that lasts or not. Going to something that Commissioner Morrow alluded to it. I know we've kind of talked about this in the past, but if there was any ability to show where we were at the same point in time in the prior year, I know we have our year-end actuals that come into play, but since we have all these cash flow cycles going on, and since we have these peaks and valleys for operations, it might be nice to be able to compare, through November of last year to see if the percentage of a whole was somewhat consistent.
We can most certainly entertain that. What I'd like to do is hold off. We're about to transition the software about in the next couple days, and we're going to have a new flavor of this reporting module. And at that point, it may be a good time to introduce that. Though I'll put that on the to-do list to present a
Could be a semi.
current year-to-date as of November in fiscal year 2013 versus fiscal year-to-date today. Obviously, we have some space constraints.
Yeah.
We could, I don't know if we
Maybe
want to
with the
spring for
12:31
magnifying glasses for the board, but
And I don't remember if the quarterly report, that you give us with that synopsis may have it there. Does it have it in that one? Or
no, it does not.
maybe we look at just including in that quarterly summary.
Perhaps
instead.
that's an option. I can
Maybe a little
present
bit more room.
a secondary report that may show purely, instead of the month-to-date, show fiscal year-to-date, this year, last year comparisons.
Let me throw out another
Yes, sir.
possibility. We have two columns for budget, one's approved and one's amendment, and they're pretty much the same.
Okay.
I'd like to consider throwing out the approved and just use the amended, since that's the up-to-date one. And that would leave you a column to compare the same time last year.
Okay. Fair
It's a
enough. We can,
possibility.
yes, we can do that. So we'll eliminate that, and somehow I'll move the columns over, and then I think what I'd like to do is include the fiscal year-to-date through November next to the actual fiscal year-to-date column at the end there, so position it over one and slide it right in there. We'll drop it in there. Okay, we can do that.
Thank you. Is there any more questions for Marcus? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for citizen comments. At this time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff or resolution. Do I have anyone on the left side that would like to come up? Okay, on the right side? Okay, no comments. We'll go into public hearings, which we have no public hearings. So we'll move on to the consent agenda and consider the approval of minutes of the workshop of December 10th, 2013, and the minutes of the regularly scheduled meeting on December 10th.
Unless someone has a correction or addition, I move we approve both sets of minutes as published.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And we have 6 with 1 abstention. Okay, we'll move into the regular agenda. The first item on the regular agenda is to consider approval of employment contract between the Board of Commissioners and the city manager.
Chairman, I move we approve the employment contract as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Kenny, do you want to do that? Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir, I'm fine with it, thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate your support,
Thank you for your service.
Amen.
thank you very much.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous? Item number 7, consider a resolution making appointment to the Office of Municipal Registrar and approving compensation for said position.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we appoint Judy Flournoy as our municipal register and approve the compensation as presented.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous? Item number 8, consider a resolution making appointment to the Office of City Attorney and approving compensation for said position.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Drew Whale as our city attorney again and compensation as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? I assume the same for you, Drew, that is okay with you? Okay.
Thank you for your service.
Hope for another good year. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous? Item number 9, consider a resolution making an appointment to the Office of Judge of Municipal Court and approving compensation for said position. I believe we have one person who has submitted name, that of William Johnston.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of William Johnson and compensation as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second with it, thank you.
Thank you, amen.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed?
I would be the first.
Okay, 7-0. Item number 10, consider a resolution making appointment to the Office of Municipal Court Solicitor and improving compensation for said position. I believe we have 3 names turned in, Reed Turner, Jessica O'Connor, and Carl Touchstone.
How about-
We're fortunate to have 3 good folks, but I will move that we reappoint Reed Turner as solicitor and compensation as presented.
Second.
I make a motion to appoint Jessica Watley.
I'd like to nominate E. Carl Touchstone.
Okay, I will move to close nominations.
Make a motion to close nominations.
All those in favor? Close nominations, please raise your right hand. Okay, so we have 3 people that were submitted. All those in favor for Reed Turner, please raise your hand. We have 4 votes there. Is it necessary to? Okay, with the majority, Reed Turner will be reappointed to the Office of Court Solicitor. Item number 11, consider a resolution making appointment to the Office of Municipal Court Clerk and approving compensation for said position.
We have the one, and I move that we approve Yolanda Walker again as municipal court clerk and approve her compensation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of Yolanda Walker? All right, 7-0. Unanimous. Item number 12, consider approval of the 2014 City of Griffin Board of Commission meeting schedule. I believe,
For some reason, that document came up blank on the computer, so. we
Yeah.
didn't-
I'll make a motion to approve the schedule as presented.
okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second to approve the schedule? It's basically following along the same.
Yeah, it follows the charter requirements for our meeting dates, and
But we
from
could-
time to
A regular
time, we
schedule,
may
okay.
cancel one like Christmas or something like.
We
that
could
that
cancel
falls
the
on a holiday.
23rd, though, if we needed to.
Sorry?
We could change the schedule later on and cancel the
Yes, sir,
23rd of
normally if
December.
we get too close to a holiday, depending on the amount of business we have to conduct, we may cancel.
I believe the,
I may have left mine down there, but it has our workshop continued on the 4th.
is everybody
The
okay
second
with
meeting, yes.
the
very much
one
so.
workshop?
Yes.
somewhere? Okay, did I get a second on that?
Second.
Okay, second by Ms. Ward. Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the schedule? Raise your right hand. All right, unanimous. Item number 13, consider approval to purchase 4 new Ford Explorer SUV vehicles from Allen Vigil Ford for $23,989 each. Transcom will equip the 4 vehicles, including in-car camera systems, for $8,291.50. for a total cost of $33,166. Signcraft will mark the vehicles at $425 each. And total expenditure for 4 equipped vehicles is $130,822. And declares as surplus 3 2008 Dodge Durangos for sale on GovDeals. Chief Strickland will address.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the purchases as presented and declare those 3 Dodge Durangos as surplus.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Item number 14, consider the purchase of a 289 Caterpillar compact track loader from Yancey Brothers, the best evaluated quote in the amount of $57,000 for use in Stormwater Division.
I move we approve.
I'll
Again.
second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor of approving the purchase, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Item number 15, consider approval of an agreement with Manley Acquisition Services, LLC, for the acquisition, relocation, and rights-of-ways for the Community Development Block Grant Water and Sewer Improvements 2013 Thomaston Mill Village, Phase 5, CDBG Grant 13P-X-126-2-5546. Deputy Director of Water and Wastewater, Joseph Johnson, will address.
For record, I have to abstain from voting due to potential conflict of interest of owning property in this district.
In that case, I move we approve the agreement as presented.
Okay.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, 6-1, or 6-0-1. Item number 16, approve emergency repair for Checkers Sewer Service line by TLC Contracting in the amount of $19,380 and amend the budget accordingly. Joseph Johnson will address.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second.
I-
Is there any discussion or questions?
If someone would just explain to me, the service line bottom was non-existent.
Explain to you what? I didn't hear what you said.
The service
Line.
line bottom was non-existent, in layman's terms.
Those lines along that corridor were put in a long time ago, with not in place, I want to say the trophy material and sulfuric acid starting to fly by the pipe.
Gotcha.
And they had a sewer pack.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked. I wanted that too.
That's it.
Okay, any other questions? Dr. Keller, you actually taking the place of Joseph Johnson on these?
Yeah, I decided not to take it.
He's supposed to go to duck hunting, but no, he wanted to stay with us instead.
Did we vote on that or not?
No, we have not.
We haven't yet.
Okay. All those in favor for approving the emergency repair, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Item number 17, consider purchase of off of state contract of F-250 Ford pickup truck from Allen Vigil Ford in the amount of $23,791 for the Blanton Mill Land Application System, and declare Unit 1806, a 2003 Dodge 2500 as surplus and advertise for sale on govdeals.com. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve, and I'll have to say, I wish I could buy a 250 for $23,000. Wow.
It's awesome.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
Do I have a second? Okay, we have a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Item number 18, consider the purchase of a John Deere utility tractor from John Deere Company off state contract in the amount of $29,685.85 for the Blanton Mill Land Application System, and declare surplus Unit 868, a 2004 Ford New Holland TC45A tractor, and advertise on govdeals.com for sale. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Item number 19, consider purchase of F-150 pickup truck from Allen Vigil Ford off state contract in the amount of $18,835 for the Potato Creek wastewater treatment plant, and declare as surplus Unit 825 a 1998 GMC pickup and advertised for sale on govdeals.com. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve.
Have
all.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just want to commend Dr. Keller and company, that's, or whoever, Phil, that's 60 or $7,000 or $6,000 less than budget, so thank you. You're welcome, Phil, the way you keep looking out for us.
Okay.
We observe it, thanks.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous? Item number 20, consider purchase of a tri-core touch correlator from Matchpoint in the amount of $40,500 for the water distribution system for the Public Works and Utilities Department.
I'm going to move we approve, but I have a question.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second, what is it?
Can you give me a 30-second answer on what a tri-core touch correlator? I couldn't figure it out from.
There are two devices that goes as undetected hydrant with our new AMI meters now in place inside the city. This is correlator that tells us where the leaks are along the pipes and we can isolate it instead of digging up inside the road.
Wow.
How do it do that? Sound. Okay.
Interesting. Echoes?
That's great.
Okay, any other questions for Dr. Kelly? All right, let's make sure we get his leak detection. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous? Item number 21, consider approval of a task order form from Arcadis for the bid documents and construction management of Heads Creek wing wall repair in the amount of $40,100 for the Public Works and Utilities Department. Dr. Kelly will address.
I'm going to move we approve. Again, I got a question.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Reading this, it appears that the actual work and all won't take
Second.
place. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had a
Thanks.
second. I'm misheard here, I'm sorry. Won't take, potentially take place for a year or so. Is it possible these could change in that year or so?
And what's happening is we finally got final design after 7 years for the EP's approval, and we're doing the bid documents. We're hoping to, because of the rain, start maybe in the fourth quarter of this year, depending on situation. What has to happen is when we work on the wing wall, we've got to release 3 feet of water out of Heads Creek Reservoir, take pressure off the back of the dam in case there's an emergency overflow. And so it's all a timing thing. Right now, all we want to do is get the documents approved and ready to bid as soon as. The other thing is also, y'all know that we're rebuilding, the upgrade that's still ran through the reservoir. So we've got to wait for that to complete. So we're just playing chess right now with bids.
So what I'm hearing is because of this long, strenuous process to get the repairs and design approved, it's not going to change. It's a done deal.
That's our, we'll see a budget, budget, we'll see money transferred over and we'll see after.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions for Dr. Kelly?
I will be abstaining. I have, my son-in-law works for Arcadis.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 601. Item number 22, consider for approval the purchase of one 2014 F-250 Crew Cab V8 short bed 4x2 pickup for NJPA statewide contract price of $27,974 from Allen Vigil Ford for use at the Griffin County Airport, and declare surplus one 1984 Chevrolet Blazer and amend the budget accordingly.
I move we approve.
I second it. I have a question.
I have a motion and a second.
I'm reading the resolution. The monies that we're using, or they're asking for the purchase of this truck, is this monies that was already in the budget, or is this additional money that we're giving to the airport?
This was GDOT.
It's not
Okay.
additional money. We had money appropriated for us by GDOT FAA when they did the road widening project right there in front of the airport. They took about a little over half an acre, They put this money into an account, and we had up to 5 years to use it.
Okay,
this
so
is
the money was
last-
already there?
Yes,
Okay.
this is the last of that money.
Okay.
Left about a balance of $1,000 after this purchase. Okay, any other questions? Discussion? Okay, hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Item number 23, consider for approval to award the RFP for banking services to SunTrust as best evaluated proposal. Marcus Schwab will address.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve it.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I have a second with questions.
Would you like to give a general
Can you give us a brief
description
of
of
what's
the
going on?
Yes.
process?
Why we actually did this to begin with, well, the contract that we had with BB&T ran out, and then we were on a month-to-month, basically market rate, where, they were accommodating to us for quite some time, and we operated basically on a grace, on their graces, and the fees started kicking in. So now, in order to engage into a contract and basically renew, since that contract expired, we had to go through an RFP process, which now we had several banks participate. We had First National Bank, who did not participate. United Bank did come to the table and then bowed out and retracted. And we did have a couple other ones participate. And overall, SunTrust was the best responsive. They were also the most competitive, and they do have a relationship with Southern Crescent. They do have an ATM machine in that facility, and there's also conversation about possibly building another bank within the city limits. But not that that's the focus of the conversation. The focus of the conversation is bringing the services that this city needs to a level that we can better support the customers that come through the door in customer service. And that's where we're capitalizing on with SunTrust. They're going to help us automate the deposit process. We're going to look at an automated vault system within the building, and that'll also speed up the deposits that come into the system. It'll help with transferring cash, and they're going to sit down and really partner with us, with the city, to help us better streamline the banking relationship as a whole.
Will payroll come out of SunTrust from that point?
Yes.
So the employees won't have a local financial institution?
Okay.
Or will they? So that's,
Distributes to their bank.
SunTrust provides or will bring to the table a unique program that, while some other banks have it, SunTrust has a very competitive program where even those employees that do not have a bank account will now have the opportunity for a card that will automatically be loaded with their paychecks, with their pay information. They can then take that to the Publix or the Krogers and be able to make their purchases that way. If they want to cash out, they're welcome to cash out. They can go to participating ATMs and relationships with other banks that SunTrust may have, and then there they can cash out their checks. But yes, the answer is you are correct, sir, in that there is no physical footprint today. They do have that relationship with Southern Crescent, which will afford the employees an opportunity to conduct their transactions.
can they get direct deposit to their own personal checking accounts outside of SunTrust?
Yes, yes, that will not change. The only thing that will, the one major change that will come to the table is the opportunity for those employees who do not have a bank account at all, or any sort of banking relationship, they'll now have an opportunity for a banking relationship.
Was there a significant difference in the bids of the local bank and SunTrust?
Yes, yes, quite substantial.
Is there an opportunity to put one of their ATMs here, or
We have a relationship with Wells Fargo. We have a copy of the lease with Wells Fargo, and that needs to be reviewed for proximity and no compete. The lease does expire in April. There may be an opportunity to enter in some other discussions or conversations with both Wells Fargo and SunTrust.
Did Wells Fargo bid?
Yes, they did.
So who?
Theirs was not competitive with
No,
SunTrust?
no, not at all. Regions, BB&T submitted a proposal, as did Regions Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, SunTrust.
So you're saying that BB&T was not competitive?
Correct.
As competitive as SunTrust?
Correct. Now, the one thing to point out is that SunTrust is a Georgia headquartered corporation. The others are either in Charlotte or some other outside outlying areas.
I was gonna say, SunTrust usually is headquartered in Charlotte.
Their headquarters is actually in Georgia.
They have moved them?
So they have,
Old Trust Company of Georgia, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I know they've been there a while, but, you know, it's also a Carolina deal.
So they're also in addition to Bank of America, they are also a Georgia incentivized company. So they are able to afford a better and forge a better relationship for governments and municipalities.
Do they not still affiliate with First National Bank?
I don't believe
They were
so.
for many
I
years.
didn't see that in that, in their documents.
They may be. 'cause we
But it
still-
was the local BB&T that handled our accounts, right? It was the local one, the right here.
In order to make our deposits, yes, we would go to the local branch. However, this would be the government sector office, which is headquartered out of Atlanta, that then Therese Conis serves the southern region, which compromises Georgia and Florida and I may misspeak here with South Carolina and Alabama.
So what I'm saying, when we got ready to make a deposit or whatever, we had to physically take it to BB&T
Correct.
across the street.
Correct.
So what would the difference be now? Who do we take, how do they get it now?
Correct. Good question. With the automated vault process, there would be an automated vault that's tied to the physical premises here. The customer service would then close out their daily drawers, submit the deposit directly to that vault, and that money is then automatically that day posted to our accounts. Whatever schedule we may adopt, whether it's twice a week or 3 times a week, armored courier will come in, pick up the money, and take it out.
So it's
it'll
their
go.
responsibility to come get the money, but they credit us virtually immediately.
Yes, sir.
But if the BB&T locally was handling the bank, then that, to me, sounds like that's a local job that somebody here was doing. That,
Not necessarily, because it's all real corporate, it's corporate money. They don't count the money there. They'll receipt it, and then it gets sent on, and I believe it gets sent on to their main headquarters in Atlanta, and then it gets processed.
okay.
I mean, the local bank pretty much is just a drop-off point
Correct.
for any kind of deposits, and that's about where their responsibility ends. And otherwise, our relationship is with the corporate office.
Correct. Well, another way to look at this relationship is when, let's say about 10 years ago or 15 years ago, the city had a relationship with another bank. The services were provided, the city was able to operate and make it its institutional deposits. An RFP was put out, BB&T came to the table, they offered the services, they brought the city up to the next level. Now we have an opportunity to take that level up another notch. And that's what we feel will be in the best interest of the city, to take it to the next level. Because we can only go so far with BB&T.
I don't quite understand that statement. I mean, you get paid, you put your money in the bank, you draw it out. What is the next level?
The next level is automated vault services, where we make the deposit that night and it gets posted immediately to the account. We no longer send someone with a police car or armed escort to the bank every day.
You mean we have been doing that?
Yes.
We had?
Still do. Every day.
So when would this take effect, Marcus?
This is something that the Finance and Accounting Department approached with much trepidation because of the impact
Right.
it has throughout the entire organization. So as soon as this is approved, then we will begin conversations with SunTrust. We will develop a contract. Then at that point, that contract will come before the board. If everything flows well, and we might have it as early as in the next, on the 28th. If there are some issues with the contract and structuring, that may delay it somewhat. Then from there, we do have a tentative timetable of about 90 days to 6 months, depending on what we transition and how. There are some accounts we're not going to touch until the very end, because they're tied to all the federal asset forfeiture funds, the grants, the CDBG programs, et cetera.
Okay.
Oh,
Gonna be a long and cumbersome process.
Yeah,
If you
it
could
sounds
talk
like
about
it is. Will we have to
just
dig a great big
signature
hole for a
cards.
vault?
I'm sorry, say again?
We're gonna have to dig a great big hole for a vault?
I don't think we'll have to do that. I'm hoping we don't have to do that.
We'll be marked.
ultimately, SunTrust was the only one that came back with no real net cost. I know part of the problem is with all the transactions that we do and everything, these fees start to accumulate, and with the interest that's being paid right now, which is pathetic, those fees
That's right.
often result in a negative,
Yeah.
cost for us. So they're the only ones that actually came in and said that we will handle all these transactions for no cost.
Right.
Everybody else ultimately charges the fees that will add up pretty dramatically, pretty quickly, given the volume that we have. So we can talk about technological advances and that sort of thing all day long, but the other side of this is none of these other banks are willing to come back with that kind of statement.
Yes.
Well, I credit you for looking after the checkbook here. Like you said, the fees, from what I could read through that, they were much more competitive than the others.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
matter what our allegiances and feelings are, the bottom line is just much better.
It's
Right.
not something that the accounting and finance department look forward to. If it's just changing out one account, it's not a big deal. Change the signature cards, move the money, and be done. We're talking a major overhaul.
And when was the last time we did the transition to BB&T? Was that about 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
I think the RFP was done about just before I got here, like 2004, around.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor for approving the RFP, please raise your right hand. Okay, all those opposed? Okay. Did you raise your hand, Rodney?
I approve.
Okay, so that is 5, 4, and 2 opposed?
5-2.
5-2.
Thank you.
Item number 24, direct MEAG power to add $295,309 per month to the MEAG bill and deposit $103,386 in the MEAG Competitive Trust Flexible Operating Account, short-term portfolio, and to deposit $192,004 per month in the New Generation and Capacity Funding Account, intermediate extended maturity portfolio.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussions or questions? Hearing none, call for question. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Item number 25, consider approval to award a bid to the low and best bidder, Alltech Industries, for a 60-foot material handler bucket truck in the amount of $213,093 and transfer $13,100 to the electric operating account from Electric Capital Improvement, the scrap metal sales, cash account, and amend the budget accordingly. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve, but again, I have a question.
I have a motion and a second.
The bids, Mr. Bosch, in my packet, were for a mini excavator, didn't show the bids for a bucket truck. Am I the one that?
That was a separate, that was on the last meeting. I'm not sure that that's,
Well, I'm not saying I'm not fouled up with computer business, but, because goodness knows I am.
I have an excavator too.
Well, the computer person may have followed up.
Well, I show an excavator bids.
okay. They were the lowest and best bidder. The other one, Telelec, was about 15,000 more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, we made a mistake in the attachment there. I
All right.
apologize for that.
Well, I'll take you at your word, sir. My question's been answered.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the bid, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Item number 26, direct Electric Cities of Georgia to issue a check in the amount of $51,867.98 for Griffin's share of the 2013 ECG year-end settlement, with the funds being deposited in the Electric Department's operating account.
Move that we approve.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any questions or discussion?
Take the money.
Run.
How's our relationship? Is Electric City still going fine, or is there still questions?
They just elected a new CEO and hopefully bright future.
Thank you. Okay. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous? Item number 27, consider approval to designate 100% of off-system energy sales margins for 2014 to be deposited in Griffin's flexible operating account short-term portfolio.
Move
I'm-
that we approve.
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Are we gonna have some?
Actually, we budgeted about 380,000 this, or 300, about 380, and we're about 337, so we're going to outperform this year, and we'll be fine next year, as long as I budget correctly.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous? Item number 28, consider adoption of the City of Griffin Comprehensive Plan Update 2014 through 2034. Taurus Freeman will address.
Well, it appeared to be pretty much as we did it. I move we approve.
Okay, I have a motion, and a second.
I want to stop Taurus from speaking if he chooses to. but-
Did that?
I second it.
We have a second. Is there any questions or discussion for Taurus? Basically, this was just amending the DCH comments that were sent back after we sent our first copy to them?
That is correct.
Okay, there's no other discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous? Item number 29, consider approval to replace the Public Works Water Department Supervisory Control and Data Acquisitions SCADA server and upgrade the software in the amount of $53,824.49. The SCADA system monitors and controls the Still Branch Reservoir water facility. Jack Poland will address.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Item number 30, consider enactment of an ordinance amending Code of Griffin, Georgia at Chapter 22, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 2, Construction Standards at Section 22-31, State Minimum Standard Codes by amending Subpart B to adopt the International Swimming Pool and Spa Code, 2012 edition, and as an additional optional code to be enforced within the city of Griffin. Attorney Drew Whalen will address.
Any questions?
Please address,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, are we gonna get a
The-
spa?
Why are we,
It's
why
your-
are
I
we
want a
doing
spa.
this?
Well, as you're aware, the state, back in the early 90s, adopted minimum statewide building and construction codes. They have mandatory codes which are adopted by the legislature. And then they gave authority to the DCA board to adopt some optional codes, which you have to adopt by ordinance. This is a new optional code which the DCA board approved.
for us.
It's not- Well, it is for you if you don't want to adopt it, but it's a code that we felt at staff level you needed to have. It's an option we felt you had. And it governs the construction of swimming pools and hot tubs and installation of these type.
How much is it going to add to the
Yeah.
industry in terms of building these specs versus what we currently have?
What are we doing to people here?
Well, we've been
Yeah.
operating without a code actually in this area now for several years.
But
I don't know what impact, Taurus, you might have a comment on this, but I think it probably would be fairly minimal. I don't think we have too many swimming pools actually built in Griffin,
Well,
But-
who's gonna come in and inspect?
our building inspectors.
Are they
And-
certified?
You know,
at
you,
the-
you have already adopted all the other optional codes, there are like 3 others that you've adopted previously. So this is a new optional code, we felt you ought to adopt it as well.
Is it something, if we end up having an issue, we can adopt changes to that in the future?
Well, you're not gonna be able to enforce a code against, involving the construction of a swimming pool unless you adopt this code. This is the only one you have the option to adopt when the law is constructed.
Well, as a code cynic, a rabid code cynic, I'm just wondering if we're laying on a bunch more code that we've never had a problem with building swimming pools, have we? I mean, are we solving the problem?
Since
or
we hadn't
just-
had any
I didn't know there was
development
a
or
problem.
construction, for about the last 8, 9 years now, I would say, no, we haven't had a problem with swimming pools.
No, we are just maintaining it in the most economical fashion because it's the only pool.
No, it has nothing to do with the city pool now.
We don't have to follow
This
codes.
is private.
This is a
Oh,
building
this is
code
for
that anybody
private.
comes in to
Gotcha.
buy
Oh,
a
I see.
permit. to
Sorry,
build it.
I was,
You go build
I
a
misunderstood
pool,
that.
Yeah. It's be like the residential home pool.
It doesn't say that.
Would you
in
feel
here.
better if we got you a copy of the actual code itself from the maintenance code?
I mean, if somebody wants to build a pool today,
I would
Is there
feel
s-
better if we could compare it.
Yeah,
Whatever we have now to whatever y'all, if we can just see it side by side.
Well, we actually have no standard at this
Don't have
time.
one now.
Yep.
We don't.
Why do we need one?
how do we act, someone comes and wants to build a pool in a house?
If they come in and want to build a pool, they would go through the permitting process.
oh, we get money.
But is there a standard, like a pool standard that they follow that we just
No, we
accept
don't.
and move forward with?
We don't currently have anything.
Do we care how they build their swimming pool, quite honestly? I mean, that's a cynical answer.
Well, it's private. It's their liability. It certainly isn't our liability.
So this code does what? If now you can just do whatever, and then we adopt the code, that means you can do what?
Same code
It
enforcement.
becomes
just have
the minimum
regulations.
construction standard for that.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Type
what
construction.
is the minimum, that's what I'm saying, what is it that we're adopting? I know we're adopting codes, but it can only be so many feet per lot? It can only be, what is it that we're adopting?
Can you have, is it about hot tubs?
Well,
Is it about someone's above-ground pool?
I think
Is
it has to do more
someone's
with the
kiddie
electrical
pool?
connections, for example, the installation, say, of lights in a pool so that you don't electrocute somebody when they get into the swimming pool, things of this nature is what I would.
Because currently, all we have for regarding swimming pools is if you have a swimming pool, you have to have a fence around it.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we table this, the data uncertain, until we see what it is we're adopting.
I second that.
Is it necessary to even table, or just,
Or kill it.
If you still want to take action on it tonight, let's just leave it alone and
we'll just leave it alone? If we could get that information, kind of
All right.
make that actual comparison.
I'll withdraw my motion and we'll take no action. Is that what we're doing?
Would there, as an amendment to an ordinance, would there not be a first reading, second reading?
there'd still be 2 readings, yes.
But would you have a public hearing?
No.
Well, I'd like to see it in the workshop, somebody tell me what we're adopting and why it is we're doing it.
Right.
Well,
Maybe-
Let's see about getting you a copy of what the
Yeah.
actual International Building Code refers to in this order,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
My request
May not-
is we
may not be that
leap right
We will-
over number 30.
We will move on from number
Do a
2.
backflip over number 30.
Okay, we'll move on. Item number 31, appoint 2 members to the Griffin Spalding Hospital Authority. Terms of Brian Upson, ex officio commission member, Shahir Bayat, expired 12/31/2013.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to nominate Brian Upson for the one.
Okay, we have a nomination for Brian Upson. Do we have any other nominations for the, we'll start with the
Make a motion.
non-commission member?
I make a nomination, or make a motion to close nominations for the non-commissioned member.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of Brian Upson, please raise your right hand. Unanimous, Brian Upson is the one appointment. And Okay. Who on the commission would like to serve on the hospital authority?
I'm on the board of the Health Clinic, and it'd be a real conflict for me to be on it, so I recuse myself. I'm not interested.
Okay, does anybody have an interest to serve on the hospital authority?
I might point out, you're not really being appointed as a member of the hospital authority. It's set by state statute. It's really just an ex officio or
Ex officio.
liaison type appointment.
Okay.
You might want to come back to that.
All right, everybody, don't
Don't do it all
clamor
at one
for it,
time.
don't compete for it here.
Jumping off of me.
Okay, well,
Well, I will say most of the work with the hospital authority, one is investments and managing that money. Two, of course, is giving it out. So it's more of a financial burden than anything else, a job.
Right, and it's very difficult to agree to do it, and it's one of the most important authorities in our community. When you're ex officio, though, you're there. And so our chief role is to nominate people to serve, good people to serve on that committee. And we don't necessarily have to be there in order for it to function well. So
Oh,
Mr. McCord just spoke up. All right, we have a winner.
I nominate Rodney McCord. I make a motion to close nominations for Rodney
Second.
McCord.
Okay, all those in favor of Rodney McCord serving on hospital authority? Right hand. Unanimous. Okay, item 32, appoint 2 members, Griffin Spalding Development Authority. I believe we have 4 names that have been submitted for the non-chairperson or designee. We have David Brock, Jim Ogletree, Bill Thielman, and Cliff Clayton. I'll open the floor to nominations.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Jim Ogletree.
Okay,
And I'll nominate Bill Thielman.
I'll nominate David Brock.
okay.
Make a motion to close nominations.
Okay, a motion to close nominations.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor of closing nominations, please raise your right hand. Okay, all those in favor of appointing David Brock, please raise your right hand. We have 1. All those in favor of Jim Ogletree, raise your right hand. Okay, we
That's
have
it.
5 Jim Ogletree,
That looks like
and
carries.
so Jim
That
Ogletree
carries,
is
yeah.
1.
Very good.
And I would like to serve on the IDA.
That is your right as the chairperson.
Number 33, appoint 3 members to the Griffin Housing Authority. I believe we had pretty much a straight-up one-for-one submission on this. We had the terms Eula Redding, and Eula Redding submitted her interest again. And for Arnissa Starr, the resident appointee, we had Gloria Pine submit for that one.
Gloria Pine.
Sorry?
Gloria Pine.
Gloria Pine, I thought so was the only one, I believe, that put in, and, oh, wait, I'm sorry, Eula Redding, and we had Keith Brown also.
I'd like to
Submit.
nominate Eula Redding, Gloria Pine, and Cynthia Reed Ward to serve as our representatives of the Griffin Housing Authority.
Okay.
All right, who are you nominating, Doug? Eula
Eula
Redding?
Redding, Gloria Pine, and Cynthia Reed Ward as the commission appointee.
All right, does that require a second? If it does, I'll second it.
No, you just need a motion to
Any
close
other nominations?
nominations if you want.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll second it. If you
I made a motion to close nominations.
Okay.
I'll second.
yeah,
Second,
okay.
we have a motion and a second, close nominations. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
You good for that, Cynthia?
I'm good.
Keep up the good work.
Amen.
Keep
Y'all
moving.
are- y'all are moving over there.
We're gonna have some at the end of the year.
Okay, is it necessary to take a vote to affirm
Yes.
those? Okay, all those in favor
Closing nominations.
of, well, we vote to close
closed
nominations
nominations.
already. All those in favor of appointing Eula Redding, Gloria Pine, and Cynthia Reed Ward?
They are,
Acclamation.
Did we vote?
you don't need to do that. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Well, we're doing it anyway.
They're appointed by acclamation.
Okay. They are appointed by acclamation.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 34, appoint 6 members to the Griffin Spalding Area Transportation Committee.
I would like to serve again.
Okay, we
I
have,
enjoy serving unless someone's just
I
dying.
don't know if any other commissioners want to do it.
okay, well,
So I'd like to nominate Dick Mara, Doug Holberg, Neil Bonds, Michelle Cannon, who both go to the meetings, and then recommendations of James Clinkstell and Captain Donald Britt, per recommendation from
Donald Britt is the chief's
police chiefs.
designee. Okay.
okay, are there any other nominations?
Hearing none, I move we close nominations and appoint back commission.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Item number 35, appoint one member to the Board of Health.
I would very much like to go back on the Board of Health. I don't know if anybody else does.
I nominate Dick Moore.
Okay, any other
Second.
nominations?
Make a motion to
that we close nominations.
second that
Okay.
motion.
All those in favor of closing nominations, please raise your hand.
Whoops.
Unanimous? Dick Moore back on health. Great. Item 36, appoint one member to Workforce Investment Council.
That requires, the new legislation passed by the Georgia legislature last year requires the chairman of the board to serve in that capacity. There is no proxy.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I hate that. Then we will move on. Item number 37, appoint one member to the Griffin Downtown Council.
And it's a pleasure to serve on that board if someone else desires to have it.
Okay.
That's your appointee, actually.
Any
No, I'm
other
sorry.
nominations?
That's your
Somebody want to go?
designee. You actually do the designation.
Oh, for Griffin Downtown Council?
Mhm.
Okay, I will appoint Doug to Griffin Downtown Council. Item number 38, appoint one member to the Griffin Spalding Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, chairperson designee. Dick, did you?
I like it. If you don't want it, I'll be happy to take it.
Okay, continue the good work. Item number 39, appointment one member to the Griffin Spalding E911 Board.
How many years should you get by with no meetings, Cora?
Come on, y'all give it to me. I'm the official.
I nominate
de-
Cora.
no,
I
he has to-
nominate Cora.
It's a
for this
designation.
position.
It's the chairman's
Oh,
I
designation.
just,
it's
I want to, I
designation,
want you to
okay.
continue taking that to new heights.
Thank you.
So,
I'll do
Very good.
whatever I can to further any projects we have. We'll have you.
When I call 911, I want to hear from you. I want to hear
Make
from
her
you.
our new negotiator for the,
Just protect us and
yes,
leave
radio
it.
system under that capacity, define
Uh-uh.
what is.
That's not on our agenda.
That
okay.
could be defined what the capacity is.
All right. Item number 40, appoint one citizen to the Council on Aging, and we had 3 people submit for this.
I'm striking Gwen's name
Okay, we're striking Gwen Taylor.
off. Uh-huh.
Okay, so we had 2 people, Helen Bogue and Denise Eady, submit.
The council, who'd they nominate?
Ruth Daniel, who's the outgoing, or is on the
She's
chair.
already on, she's head of it, isn't she?
She's the director of it.
Yeah.
She nominated Denise Edie, and therefore I nominate.
I would
Denise
second that
Edie.
nomination. I think she would be good.
Okay, any other nominations?
Hearing
Okay.
none, I move we close nominations and appoint back commission.
All
Second.
those in favor?
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, unanimous for Denise Eady. Okay, item 41, appoint pension committee, employee representatives, and retiree representative as required by the Georgia Municipal Employees Benefit System Pension Plan. Terms of employee representative Connie Hendricks and retiree representative David Weldon expired. And I saw we had Connie Hendricks submit again, but I did not see the retiree representative. Anybody submit for that? Do we
Yeah,
have?
I think HR recommended both of those to go back on
They did.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's the appointment.
they did.
Okay, so David Weldon's willing to serve again. Okay, since those are the only 2, I'll,
Make, those being nominated, I'll make a motion to close nominations.
Their appointments.
Well, we have to vote on it.
Whatever, I second the nomination.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of these 2 people, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Okay, item number 42, appoint 2 members to the Planning and Zoning Board. We've got Katie Fisher, District 1.
Katie Fisher.
Okay, we're going to continue. Katie Fisher. And District 2, who would,
Roger Miller.
Roger Miller, so we're continuing with the
Is
same
Roger
people
here?
there.
Yep.
There he is.
Yep, there it is.
Thank you for your service, Ron.
Yes.
Okay, item 43 was amended to be deleted. Item 44, appoint one member to the Historic Preservation Commission. Term of Amanda Slade expired.
I'd like to nominate Amanda Slade.
And I'll nominate Frank Harris.
Okay, we have nomination of Amanda Slade and Frank Harris, and I know there was a question about the residency requirement. Drew,
He's not eligible.
I thought you had to have a business downtown.
Have to be a resident.
Have to be a resident.
Of the city.
All right.
Frank
Frank
Harris.
Frank Harris is.
So
Okay.
having property in the downtown is not enough of a,
You have to live in the city. All right. Well, then I remove Mr. Harris's nomination.
okay?
And I move that we close nominations and have Amanda by
Acclamation.
acclamation.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor of Amanda Slade, please raise your hand. Unanimous? Okay, appoint 3 members to the Griffin Main Street Advisory Board. Terms of Commissioner Cynthia Ward, Chairperson Designee, John Carlisle, and Jean Brummagem. Cynthia, would you like to continue to?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, I will designate Cynthia Ward.
Well, I've got a question. It's just 2 other appointments, John, the one for John Carlisle and Jim Bumington.
Yes.
Well, strike that, I had put another name in there, strike that one, because I was thinking it was 3 positions. Well,
I'd like to nominate John Carlisle to succeed John Carlisle and Jean
Jean
Brummagem to succeed Jean Brummagem's position as the at-large member.
Okay, any other nominations? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, we have John Carlisle and Jean Brummagem. Okay, item number 46, appoint one commission member to serve on the Spalding Collaborative. Do we have an interest? Anyone to serve on the
That's your
Collaborative?
baby, Joanne. I don't miss you.
No, I haven't been on the collaborative in at least 4 or 5 years. And
Who
I have
has
no
been? Is
desire
it-
to.
Was it she here was on the collaborative?
Commissioner
I
Bale
think he
on
was.
the collaborative.
Yeah.
I
They
think
meet in the
Rodney,
morning, they meet in the morning, I'm not.
I think Rodney was so
I
enthusiastic
have
about
vowed
hospital
not to
authority.
meet- have them committees that meet in the morning.
Okay.
So that
What time they
is that a
What time
commission
they
meet?
vote for
9
that,
a.m.
or is that appointed by the chairman?
It actually, I think, according to everything that's read, it says chairman or designee. But it's usually the chairman, you know, all these people,
Collaborative is
right,
chairman or
these
designee.
authorities that the Georgia General Assembly passes, that obligate all of us local officials, sometimes can be irritating.
But this one is a vote of the board.
It's appointed by the commission, yes.
Okay.
Where is that?
When
No,
did you say it?
I'm not interested in serving again,
What-
but
what
thank
day
you
of
for
the-
offering.
I got my
Does it serve?
It's actually an unexpired term. It looks like it should hear according to the cheat sheet.
I don't have their meeting date in front of me.
Sound like it goes to the chairman.
Okay, folks.
They meet during the day in the morning, I think, but I'm not sure which day it is.
Okay, for sake of moving on, I'll take it, and if,
Well, we can
and,
table it if you want to come back to it later.
Yeah.
well, nothing is gonna change for the, for the need to
Might twist
table it.
somebody's arm,
Hey,
It's gotta be one of us, so.
Unless he does some incentivizing.
I nominate Ryan McElroy.
Same thing.
Okay, we have a nomination. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Then I move we close nominations.
Right.
Okay, I have a motion.
Amen.
All right. We have a motion and a second to close nominations. All those in favor? Okay. And then I'll just work on you guys. All right, item 47, appoint one commission member to serve on the Three
Oh,
Rivers
yes, yes.
Regional Commission. Chairperson designee, I will designate Doug to serve on the Three Rivers. Yes. Okay, we got through it, and now time for city manager's report.
Hey, Martin Luther King Parade, Monday.
Good grief already.
This year's flying.
Monday's a holiday, by the way. Offices will be closed, parades Monday afternoon, so we need to know about golf carts and candy.
Oh, we can't, are they gonna let you throw candy? I had
Can't
all that
throw
candy
it, you
covered.
can hand it out, can't throw it.
I walked 5 miles.
Well, you know, hey, not
Christmas.
hey, you remember, and Harry and I bagged it and
Golf cart,
did at least that many, and walked and gave it out. We did.
I had to walk. 'cause
one
I
golf
couldn't throw it.
cart and some candy.
That's right, I did too, Cynthia.
When's the last day that we can tell you?
Monday.
Friday, Thursday?
As soon as possible, because I have to coordinate getting the golf carts moved around. I have to buy the candy,
time
like
is the
I
parade?
usually buy the
What time
candy
is the
on
parade?
Wednesday, tomorrow.
What time is the parade?
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock. My
3:30?
children got a dinner appointment. I guess I
Three.
I
o'clock,
will
I
be
think.
taking Harry back to the doctor, so I
I don't
won't
know if
be
I'm
here.
gonna be here. Call me before you go
You
buy
can't drive
candy,
yet.
and then I'll know.
Okay, I'll call you in the morning.
You ain't going to the store in the morning.
I mean, really, Alicia goes to like Sam's and gets it like the Wednesday before.
Go ahead and get hers.
And that, you know, we had really good candy that we passed out by walking, but I have to tell you, the kids love Skittles better than they love anything.
That's not
That was
enough.
amazing to me.
Just straight
You want a
sugar
golf cart,
packets would be
Ms.
great for
Flowers?
kids.
Call me in the morning.
Okay.
I gotta go home and look at my schedule.
Okay, a contingent met with the county on 800 megahertz, and that'll be discussed again at our next workshop on the 28th to hopefully come to a resolution on that. But we did have a good 2-hour-long meeting with the county on that issue. And I wanted to know if you wanted to have an annual workshop, we have in the past, and if so, maybe let me know some available dates. We're already in the middle of January, so
Sooner
the
the better.
sooner the better. And Mr.
Okay,
Chairman,
I guess we'll
you
just,
and I can.
just submit topics of interest every time as well to you to
Yes,
throw on that.
so how you'd like to handle it.
I'll walk with Cynthia on the MLK parade as well. So, put me down.
You gonna walk?
Is that what we're doing? Are we walking?
We better take a cart too. We might have to ride for a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, a cart, you know, if you ride along the edge, you can just really, basically, you can hand it to them, because the cart can get right close to the curb.
Are we driving?
Go get us a cart. Get us a cart.
You can get a fertilizer sprayer.
Okay, we'll take care of that, and I'll work with
everywhere.
the chairman to try to put a workshop together as soon as we can. That's all I have.
Sure. Nothing else. Y'all done great.
Well, I'll start off with, welcome back, Commissioner McCord.
Glad to be back. Thank y'all for having me. Just want to remind everyone of the Griffin Got Talent this Saturday at 5 o'clock at the Tell Street Auditorium. I will be the MC, and we're raising money for Atkinson Elementary and the greatest elementary school in the whole world, Memorial Elementary. And hope you guys come out and participate. Thanks, and that's all I have.
Commissioner Moore?
The Airport Authority has approved the employee lease with the city to move the operations from the city to the Airport Authority, and we also approved the contract for the city to provide the services. So basically, nothing changes. The employees and the services stay the same, but technically, they're contracted from the Airport Authority to the city, and those contracts will come to this board in the very near future.
Okay.
And there's been no word from the FAA what they want to do about a new airport.
Okay. Commissioner Holmes?
Last night, Downtown Council had their annual meeting. We have 20 newly appointed directors, so they'll be at the next board meeting appointing chairman, vice chairman, and things like that. So it's good to see. We had probably 30 folks show up last night in the Carlton Ives meeting room to talk about Griffin's future. And Joanne, want to thank you for your leadership this past year, the step that we made for code enforcement and things like that, and this board being strong and working for the future. I see great potential in the future. So thank you for your leadership and this team of getting it done. Yes, ma'am.
Am I next?
Commissioner Todd.
Wow, yes, I love this seat. I'm grown to love it already. One of the last things that I received as chairperson for the City of Griffin was a letter from the Georgia Department of Corrections honoring Tommy Jones, and I'd like to read it if I may. Dear Commissioner Todd, the growth and development of staff in the areas of leadership and management is an integral part of the Georgia Department of Corrections succession planning. Our efforts to optimize this effort include the delivery of a 40-hour Chiefs and Wardens pre-command program. The blocks of instruction in this program include presentations provided by instructors knowledgeable in various areas of leadership. I am very fortunate to be acquainted and familiar with Fire Chief Tommy Jones and his knowledge, skills, and abilities. On December the 12th, 2013, Chief Jones delivered presentations on crisis communication and public speaking at the Chiefs and Warrens pre-command program. His presentations were very well received and the evaluations were extremely positive. His experience, expertise, and professionalism served as an encouraging example of leadership for our future managers. The City of Griffin is fortunate indeed to have a person of Chief Jones' character and leadership abilities. I sincerely appreciate the board's willingness to allow him to participate in the delivery of our program. If I can ever be of assistance to you or your board, please do not hesitate to call me. Marcia L. McIntyre, Deputy Director, Probation Operations. And other than that, I look forward to our year as a board, and I thank everyone for the kind words that they said. And as I said earlier, it is a joy to serve the citizens of the City of Griffin. Thank you.
My constituent came to the meeting this evening, and I think at some point he wanted to speak, but he missed the commissioner's comment, so if we could give him a minute or two, because he has patiently sat with us all evening.
What's his name?
Okay.
Good evening.
I thought her doing.
For giving me this opportunity to come and to address you guys.
Could we get your name and
My name is
address?
Donald Driver. I'm a community activist on the east side of town, which you might not know that, but I'm an underground community activist. My point in being here is that over 2 years ago, I addressed each one of the commissioners here, except that Mr. McCoy, about a park over on the Chapel Street area. And that area seemed to get no response from no one, even to a commissioner, the city manager. I brought it all to you. But I ask you guys to support Commissioner Flowers in her effort to get a park over in our area. We really would appreciate it if you guys would consider it. If you consider that, you would eliminate a lot of the riffraff and everything, because we have a plan of how you build it. I give it to the city manager 2 years ago about putting a police precinct and all of that there. But we're asking you once again to please consider it on the Chapel Street between Chapel and Quilly. We'll work with you guys as much as we can to get that developed.
And second and third?
Yes, between second and third.
So second, third, Quilly?
Right.
Okay.
We realize that there have been some problem with some of the landowners previously with this board, but you know what, we realize too that can be worked out.
Okay, can I get your address for the record?
My address, I live on Moore Street, 534 Moore Street.
You'll have several houses, according to the Griffin Daily newspaper, that'll be demoed probably in that area.
Pardon me?
You'll probably have several houses in that area with the Land Bank Authority list that will, has some houses will be demoed in the near future in that area too, so.
But this land that I'm talking about is already clear.
Right, I know, yeah, right, I
Yeah.
understand.
So, you know, that shouldn't be a problem with that. You know,
Okay.
I would really appreciate you guys
Thank you
to
for,
consider it.
thank you for bringing that to us, and we'll be happy to look at considering that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My grandson don't have anywhere to play.
I understand.
Okay, beyond that, some people still think that Cersei is a two-way street.
They
That's
do.
all I'm gonna say for tonight. And that's all I got right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chairman. During the Christmas break, the Housing Authority got a a early Christmas present. They were approved for the tax credits they were waiting on to start development. So everything should start moving along really, really fast. Most of the apartments are already boarded up and the residents are almost completely out. We're excited, and I'm sure when the process starts, they'll be coming to the city to partner with some things that's going on over there. But it looks good, and it looks really promising, and this is gonna be a great investment for our city. So,
I think so too.
Good work.
but other than that, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Well, I do want to take the opportunity again to thank the board. As Commissioner Todd said, it truly is an honor to serve. And also thank you for bearing with me. This is a new experience as I kind of fuddle through the agenda tonight, and hopefully it'll get a little bit smoother as we go along, but I look forward to an exciting year, and if there's nothing else.
Make a motion to adjourn, sir.
Second.
Motion? Second. All those in favor, rise.